I've been collecting these filters for about a year or so, and there's bound to be a little gold on in there. I got my little burner set up with a wok and a hunk of stainless over it. Minimize the ashes flying out of there, and of course tinders and whatnot. It's been a little bit not so dry, so I'm gonna give it a shot here now. And anyway, I've already tossed a couple in there, and they burnt right up real nice. If you can see that in there. Toss some more in here, see what we got here, all right? Let's see. Actually, let me get some gloves. This dude is ripping hot, so it's ready to receive. The wind's not very bad today, so that's why I'm doing this right now. See if we can sit in front of the wind tunnel here to minimize some of the wind action. Oh, that one's loaded. Okay, let me load this stuff up in here, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, keep things under control here. I put in that much, the first big chunk that fell out. I'm just going to let that ride the storm here for a little bit until it's all burned up. Fluff it up a little bit here. But yeah, anyway, back to the story. I got it all in there finally. It's got this big gigantic chunk right here, right? I got this guy. Crank around. Is that? Burn that, baby. We're gonna burn you, baby. Ooh, baby, baby, baby. I got the fan right behind me, okay, and it's blowing upward towards my face, so I don't breathe this crap. Stir this stuff up. I'm gonna throw this in this bucket here and have a big, yeah, folks, just like when you have some fine gold, you don't want the float, you got to add some kind of surfactant like this. Anyway, yeah, I'll put that soap in there and we'll get a little surfactant in it so nothing floats. I'll just throw that right on there like that. Looks like I got a fairly clean bucket. I got pan stuck in the bottom there. I'll pour this dude off right in here. Yank that pan out of there, guys. Just take a look, but you know, almost nothing heavy went over. Hey folks, I'm gonna wash this material down in. After it quits acting up a little bit here, I'll stick it on the heat. Heat means reaction. You gotta be careful. That dude get underway and hit the volcano. And we don't want that. That dude cook for a while just like that, and we'll come back and check it here in about a half hour or so. It looks like it's not gonna be too frisky, that's for sure. So we'll go with that. Peace, baby. Let that cook just like that until basically no fumes. Then I'll add a little bit of water, get it to boil again, see if there's any more fumes. If there's none, then I'll drain off that liquid and we'll do her again. That's right, we do it one by one. Peace, baby. Yeah, the legendary Cuisinart barely could boil this stuff, so I got Sylvia's. Yeah, I got this at the auction, and it was in with some other junk. But yeah, I'm glad to have it. It goes right up to 400, it says, and that's bound to boil it. And so as you can see, it's already starting to boil it, and it's good and hot. And I've only had it on there maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and I can hear the fan super bogged down with this. I can hear it, oh, it went way down. And so yeah, it's pulling a little more juice than the old Cuisinart can. So anyway, yeah, you can see some good fumes happening now. It's starting to boil. You just saw a bubble. I'm gonna let that dude boil. Hopefully rolling boil is what I'm looking for. And it's hard to do sometimes with the fan on, but how I do it a lot of times is, you know, you go just above the material so it's not blowing on it. And then the fumes that come off there get caught up in that eddy, and then they just go off into the nebulae. If you put it straight on it, sometimes you'll create an eddy right here, and you can smell it then. And so yeah, that's horribly bad. So you never want to do that. You always want to position it, you know, where you can watch the fumes for a while, especially if you're you're doing some experiment that you're making tacos. Anyway, you see, doing some experiment where you can see the fumes cleanly. You can test a little bit with your fan, and then make sure you know how this works, and then how the eddies in the air are created. And if you got a big breeze coming this way, that's a bad deal, right? You have to position it so the fan would be up over here somewhere, right, to blow with the wind. Fortunately, my wind basically is predominantly right here, this direction. Almost always comes right straight here. The other day it wasn't, and I think it was because of those swirling clouds we've had for 2 weeks. But anyway, yeah, that's my story on the fan. So test and know, so you don't breathe this crap. It is, yeah, okay in a second. Yeah, if you cannot get a breath out of that, right? If you took one deep breath, put your face right over and breathe that, you're done. I'm ranting and raving. Peace, baby. I love you. Be safe, man. Oh, baby, there we go. Oh, wait, cooking. That's what I wanted. I'm thinking, but nothing's happening. Hey, folks, that dude is not making much wind at all. He's been boiling hard for a while. This time, it's getting late. I'm gonna shut this dude off. I just jinked that off the heat here. Off that guy. Boiling like savage. I added, let's start here. I dumped off some of the material into here. Tiny bit into this guy here. This guy's got copper in it. So I just make silver coming, you know, push that silver out of solution, a bit of it. And it's got a little bit of silver in the bottom here. You can see that, right? A little bit of silver down there. Now this guy here though, I had a little bit of hydrochloric involved, and so immediately, of course, it makes all those chlorides, and there they are. But we can convert that to silver metal with sodium hydroxide and sugar, and so I'll do that with that too. But anyway, this is the remaining material here. I added water back to it, more nitric acid, boiled it for about 45 minutes. It's not making any fumes. I'm letting it settle now. I'm gonna pour that solution off or siphon it off after it settles for an hour or two, and it's fairly clear. And then and I'm thinking that might be enough strip, but we'll try one more little nitric strip and see what we get. Pretty sludgy still in there, guys, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm gonna try and I can't get any more fumes off it really with dilute nitric, so I hope there's that much gold. It looks like a lot, several grams. So anyway, yeah, we'll see. Probably not. It's probably mostly junk. But I'm gonna hit this dude with hydrochloric right now. Fairly good amount. About like that. Yeah, that's right. Get a little bit of nitric on in there. We'll get the Aqua Regia going. What do we got here? Yeah, roughly. Yeah, probably about maybe 800 milliliters of hydrochloric. Yeah, we'll get on it with a little bit of nitric here. We won't need anything too heavy duty. I'm thinking maybe just a few of these guys here, maybe 100 or something or less. Quite a bit of material in it. Anyway, let's see what that does. That should be enough. I can always hit it a little bit more if it doesn't all go into solution, and juice it up from there. You get a little bit of sulfuric in there also. There's bound to be a significant amount of lead in here. What the big deal? Pretty hot stuff. We'll put in a little bit like that though. Quite a bit actually compared to how I normally do it. But it's got a ton of junk in there, right? So I want to make sure I have a significant amount of sulfuric in there so I can get any of the lead, get the lead out, baby. Let's crank this dog on and see what we get. We do 400. I get my fan up and running, and we'll get in and see what we got. Let's see what we got, baby, in a few minutes. That's silver chloride with sodium hydroxide into silver oxide. And then after this one's already getting oxidey. This is a bunch of silver chlorides also. But just being in the sunlight, it starts to convert it, right? You see it oxidizing right there. So anyway, yeah, after we get this one all settled down, I'll pour out the clear solution. We'll add this together so we got all of our chlorides in one pile. And then I'll add sodium hydroxide to that, convert it all to straight up silver oxide. And then we'll add sugar to it and convert it back to silver metal. And we'll get our silver out of this stuff, which is our, of course, our filter papers. Which there's a significant amount of silver in there, it looks like, because all of this is from those filter papers, you know. This guy here, and these guys too. At first I was thinking, well, I'll just pour it all in there and put a piece of copper. But then, yeah, I had so much solution that I had to dump it somewhere else, and, and I contaminated it with a little bit of hydrochloric, and it started making chlorides. And so then I said, well, okay, I'll make it all chlorides, except that, and then I'll have to convert it back into silver metal. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, baby. Anyway, yeah, we got this thing cooking, full blast. You saw I put in a bunch of hydrochloric, and then a bunch of nitric, and then actually a bunch of sulfuric. And so hopefully we can get most of that into solution. I'm going to boil the devil out of it here, just like I have been, and then we'll filter that solution and drop that gold and see what we get. That's right, baby. Peace. Folks, I just got that dude off the heat. I gave it a little spin. It's still turning in there. So see, I can see a little bit of material still on the bottom, but I'm gonna let it settle just like that. It sits for a few minutes here. I'm gonna filter it once it's cool, and then we'll drop the gold. Okay, folks, we're gonna check this real quick for golden solution because I'm pretty confident, right? But it's not like we took a 14K ring or something and put it in solution. You know, we had a bunch of our junk that we're just processing, right? So I like to give this a little stir each time like that. Let's see what we get here. Oh yeah, baby. There you go. So filter this stuff and press on. Nice and cool now. Yes, sir. Yeah, folks, this thing's got massive grit in there, and there's still a bunch of material in here that I'm not gonna. I started to put water in there. I was gonna rinse it. I was thinking, well, no, I'm just going to stop. You know, add hydrochloric and nitric and sulfuric, and try to get another strip off of this as far as a little bit of gold. I'm gonna throw this filter in there with this gook also, and then we'll put all that if we can in solution. And then we'll get that solution and we'll drop it also. Yeah, folks, I'm not going to rinse this filter or nothing. All I'm going to do is snatch that dude straight up out of there. Put it right back in there. Such as that. Just a little bit of urea here. Let's see if we can... yeah, basically nothing. Yeah, we're gonna get some gold there. It's gonna take a while to settle, I do believe, but we'll see what we get tomorrow. Peace, baby. Okay, folks, I better update you on the program here. This guy here is our major gold so far out of our filters. I haven't weighted or anything. I just got it dried and kind of knocked loose. Exactly what it looks like, but not too much, a little bit, maybe a gram. We got some silver here. This is the one that I cemented out with copper, so that's real silver metal. And yeah, there's a little bit there, a few grams. And moving along smartly, this guy here is a little bit of gold. You can see it settling out. I just dumped it off, and I'm rinsing it down with a little bit of water. I can get you to see it. There you go. Maybe another couple tenths in there. Then this guy here is the the major portion of silver. You see how I tip it? You can see the silver chloride below it. The darker stuff on top has been hit with the sun, and that's why it's starting to oxidize. Now, it needs to be converted to oxides straight up, because that's just chlorides in there. And how you do that is with we lie. We don't lie, but it's with there. We lie, baby. Sodium hydrox. That's right. So we add that sodium hydroxide in there, and what that will do, that'll convert it to an oxide. And we're going to do that right now. Let me get on some gloves and we'll do that, and some glasses, because it's pretty dangerous stuff. It'll burn your eyes right out of your head for sure. Yeah, folks, I think you're going to be able to see this reaction pretty well there. Stir it as I add it, okay? Temperature. Well, she's warm. Good and warm. Yeah, it was ice cold a second ago. I had to get new batteries and put them in here. But, yeah, it's still reading 130. Totally converted to oxide. But now, we have to add sugar. This is where things can get really dicey. Give it a slow stir here. Add a tiny bit of sugar. Slowly but surely, right? Like that. That's enough. About a teaspoon right there. So this will convert it right back into silver metal here. So a little bit more and we'll check the temperature. We don't want to go crazy, right? Because it could just suddenly boil over. It only went up a little bit. It only went up a tiniest bit so far. That's good. A little bit more. And that might be enough. Starting to get a tiny bit silvery looking. Starting to convert. See if you guys can see that. Still looks pretty black to you, I'm sure. But it is, in fact, starting to do its thing here. Now what I like to do, because I had water in there, right, it gives you a little more gentle reaction, not so crazy. If you have a ton of silver in there and very little water, yeah, it can go bonkers really fast. But this is only, I don't know, maybe an ounce, maybe less, I don't know. Something like that, we'll see. A few minutes, and now it definitely got silverier on that one. Let me cover this up so I can get a better shade. You should be able to see that it's definitely silverier colored now. Now once I do all this, I like to put it on the heat for a little bit too, which will do the final of it getting converted back to silver metal. We're about done with our sugar, I do believe. I don't know the exact proportions. I typically add enough sodium hydroxide until it's black, such as we saw, and I add enough sugar until it looks kind of like that, a little more silvery colored. The reaction looks like it's getting maybe hotter, I don't know. Yeah, see, it's up to 142 now. So it's generating some heat. Let's go a smidge more here. See if we can boil it over. Folks, let's do this. Weight's about 450-ish. Materials about 250. Anyway, it should be just about enough there. You don't need to go crazy with it. You should have a lot of metal in the bottom now. Oh yeah, it does. It certainly does. Okay, I'm going to turn that dude off and let it cool, and then we'll get that sugar and sodium hydroxide off there. Rinse it several times. That's silver, baby. Silver. Cool off nicely. Already wetted my filter. I'm going to run that bad right through there. We'll have our last bit of gold, I believe. Basically out of there, but because this stuff looks like heck, as you can see, I'm going to take this filter out. I'm going to chuck it in with this junk. Right here, I'm going to stick in a new filter and run it again. Yeah, it could be lead, could be a little silver, could be just debris. It didn't clean up much, so I'm going to run that straight back to that same filter. Yeah, folks, well, let's filter, and I think it's cool enough here where we can, oh yeah, look at that silver in the bottom there. Yo-ho, baby. Yeah, this is some fairly gnarly stuff here, but we're gonna still put it right on in there. Yeah, just a small rinse like that is much better. I see people all the time, you know, they like fill up the whole beaker, and then you got a gigantic amount of, you know, garbage to deal with. Folks, let's get this guy. See if we can precipitate all the smidge of gold still. I don't have much here, you can see, right? Not much at all. We're gonna still try though. Okay folks, I don't believe this could have any active nitric in it. It may, but I boiled the death out of it. I think it'll be fine. I'll try a little shot of sodium metabisulfite, see if we got any gold in here. I gotta adjust my fan a little bit. I didn't do it, so proper and good and safe. Put it the right way here. There we go. This will be a fine job. Let's try one more here. Shouldn't take much, but you know what? I like to overdose it, I think. I see a little color change, right? Okay, we got a little distillation. Yeah, when you got that little of gold, the solution is yeah, very, very, yeah, it doesn't give you any kind of reaction. It doesn't tell us what's going on. You got it well, it really reacts. It reacts well. Even if you got a few tenths like this guy. Oh baby, yeah. Dump that off. Let's look at well drained. Just like that. I'll let that dry, such as it is. Right in with this guy. Right with this fella right here. Alright. We'll boil our silver and dry our gold. Once we get it dry, we're going to add it to this guy. Our original gold. So we got a few tenths in there for sure. Maybe a gram, I don't know, we'll see. And then we can add our silver to this guy too once it's dry and clean. And then we'll weigh it on in and see what we got. This baby, I love you, man. Hey, baby. She's boiling already. That water will be gone in a flash now. This guy here is starting to boil. Yes, sir. Looking good. Right. That gold looks pretty dry, so we can knock it out of there. Look at that. It's a good little shot. Anyway, yeah, there might be a tenth or two in there. We'll see. You can see I got that out of there. There's a little bit of gold in the bottom still, but that's okay. We're just, next time we put Aqua Regia together for something or other, it'll be right in that beaker and we'll get our last 100th of a tenth of gold or whatever out of it. Anyway, I dumped it on here. You can see. Got now, I'm going to swirl it all together and all together now. Yeah, pretty good pile. That'll be a gram, I would think. I think it's more than a gram. It might be even a gram and a half. I don't know. We'll see. We will see here shortly thereafter. Silver's coming along. Added a tiny bit of hydrochloric to that water to chew up any little garbage that's floating in there. Let it boil for a couple more minutes. We'll dump it off. It's getting nice and silvery colored though. This probably won't have jack smack in it, but that's dilute nitric with the remaining all the material that we had that was left over. And we'll see if there's any silver in there at all once it gets boiling good and proper. After that, we'll probably discard that material. This guy here is getting cleaner and cleaner though, really quick. Yeah, that's Brooks. I just pulled it off the heat. Looking pretty sweet. May not be as much as I'm thinking, but could be an ounce in there. You can see the liquid is slightly discolored, but not much. Yeah, it's fairly clean stuff now. Turn my hand around here so we can dump this off. Baby, that's pretty good. Yeah, not too shabby. And folks, I rinsed that silver about five times actually. After I dumped off that the dilute hydrochloric in water, primarily water, about 10% hydrochloric. But yeah, it's clean stuff now. You're looking mighty fine. Yeah, I'm gonna let that dude dry up here, right down here with this fella. I'll go from there. Right down there like that. Got here, got boiling yet. I don't see any fumes, so there might not be any metal in there at all. Okay, folks, while we're waiting on our silver to dry so I can add it to that silver, I got this thing teared out, little cap on there. I'm gonna see what kind of gold we got in here. All right, let me do it with two hands. Okay, folks, we got it out of there. Ain't no catastrophes. Yeah, 1.368. Pretty good. It needs to be refined again, but yeah, it won't go down much. It'll go down to maybe 1.3 or something at the very most. Yeah, it's not pure for sure, but it's pretty close. Anyway, yeah, 1.3. Yeah, it's pretty it's fantastic. Out of my filters. Yeah, folks, there's our silver so far, 11.8 grams. Yeah, we have over an ounce for sure. I'm pretty sure. So anyway, we'll weigh that in too, and we'll put all that silver together, and then we'll see what we got. Yeah, but this thing's boiling a little bit. It's making a tiny bit of fumes. Anyway, I'm gonna let that dude boil for a while longer, maybe another half hour. Then I'm gonna turn it off and let it sit. And we'll filter it and see what we get tomorrow. That's just about it though. This silver's just about dry though. It's getting closer. A little bit, yep. Going along. A couple more minutes and that'll be dry. Yeah, getting late. Put it up, baby. I love it, baby. I'll see you shortly with the big weigh-in. Bring this dude in just like we did before. Okay, 7.75. Now we got this guy here. I think it'll come out of there fairly nicely. Nice and dry. Okay, add that on in there, see what we get. Baby, we're gonna go an ounce. We're gonna go an ounce. Just beer. Come on now, ounce, baby, ounce. We're almost there, almost there. Oh, look at that. The last shake. Still got a little bit in there. Let me knock this out. I think I got her knocked out of there all the way now. Let's try the rest of it. And that's it. Not so bad, right? 32 grams. We got over an ounce of fairly pure silver. Well, baby, out of our filters. Yes, and we got our filter gold here with a 1.3 grams, right? Oh, baby, 1.3 there. I'm pretty happy about that. It's working out well. Love you, man.